The truth you've been ignoring. Stop. Don't scroll. Stay here. Because this is not normal. Pause. There's a feeling you've been trying to ignore. A quiet discomfort. A sense that something isn't the same anymore. Stop right here. You can't explain it clearly. You can't prove it. But you feel it. Pause. And feelings like that don't come from nowhere. Stop. Think about it. Has someone around you changed? Not suddenly. Not obviously. Pause. But slowly. Subtly. Stop right here. The way they talk. The way they react. The way they look at things now. Pause. Something feels off. Stop. At first, you ignored it. Pause. You told yourself, it's nothing. I'm overthinking. Stop right here. Because that's easier. Pause. Easier than questioning everything. Easier than facing uncertainty. Stop. But now, it's getting harder to ignore. Pause. Because patterns are forming. Stop right here. Repeated behavior. Repeated reactions. Repeated moments that don't feel right. Pause. And repetition is never random. Stop. It points to something. Pause. Something deeper. Stop right here. Not necessarily dangerous, but definitely different. Pause. And difference creates discomfort. Stop. Because you don't fully understand it yet. Pause. And what you don't understand feels uncertain. Stop right here. But here's the truth. Pause. Ignoring it won't make it go away. Stop. It will only delay your understanding. Pause. And delay creates confusion. Stop right here. Because the longer you ignore something, the harder it becomes to see clearly. Pause. And clarity is what you need right now. Stop. Not assumptions. Not fear. Pause. Clarity. Stop right here. So ask yourself honestly, what exactly feels different? Pause. Not generally. Not vaguely. Stop. Specifically. Pause. Because once you identify it, everything starts making sense. Stop right here. Because awareness begins with observation. Pause. And observation leads to understanding. Stop. And understanding changes everything. Pause. Because now, you're not just feeling something. Stop right here. You're recognizing it. Pause. And that recognition is the first step toward clarity. Stop. So don't ignore it. Pause. Don't rush past it. Stop right here. Stay with it. Observe it. Pause. Because what you understand now will define what you do next. If this connected with you, backhand index pointing right, like the video. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe for more. Backhand index pointing right, comment what you felt while listening. Backhand index pointing right, and share this with at least 5 people who need to hear this. Also, if you want to support this work, you'll see a QR code on your screen and a link in the description and pinned comment. We are working toward a $3,000 weekly goal for a meaningful initiative. Some may contribute $20, others $50, some $100, and those who can, even $500. Every support matters. Part 2: The change you can't explain. Stop. Don't scroll. Stay here. Because this is where it becomes clearer. Pause. In Part 1, you felt it. That quiet discomfort. That sense that something isn't the same. Stop right here. But now, you're about to understand something deeper. It's not just a feeling. Pause. It's a pattern. Stop. Think about it carefully. Not emotionally. Not quickly. Pause. Observe. Stop right here. Has the way he responds changed? Pause. Not what he says, but how he says it. Stop. The tone. The timing. The reactions. Pause. Something is different. Stop right here. At first, it was small. Almost unnoticeable. Pause. A slight shift in behavior. Stop. A different reaction than usual. Pause. You noticed it. But you moved past it. Stop right here. Because it didn't seem important. Pause. But now, it's repeating. Stop. And repetition means something. Pause. Because patterns don't form randomly. Stop right here. They build. Step by step. Pause. Moment by moment. Stop. Until one day, you realize it's not a coincidence. Pause. It's consistent. Stop right here. And consistency reveals truth. Pause. Think about the details. Stop. The conversations that feel incomplete. Pause. The reactions that feel slightly off. Stop. The moments where something feels missing. Pause. Not wrong. Stop right here. But not right either. Pause. And that difference is important. Stop. Because your mind notices it. Pause. Even when you try to ignore it. Stop right here. That's why the feeling keeps coming back. Pause. Because something hasn't been understood yet. Stop. And your awareness is trying to catch up. Pause. trying to make sense of it. Stop right here. Because when behavior changes, there's always a reason. Pause. Not always obvious. Stop. But always present. Pause. And now, you're starting to look for that reason. Stop right here. Not out of fear. Pause. Out of clarity. Stop. Because you're no longer ignoring it. Pause. You're observing it. Stop right here. And observation leads to understanding. Pause. Understanding leads to clarity. Stop. And clarity changes everything. Pause. Because now, you're not just feeling something. Stop right here. You're recognizing it. Pause. You're connecting the moments. Stop. You're seeing the pattern. Pause. And that pattern is leading you somewhere. Stop right here. Not fully clear yet. Pause. But close. Stop. Very close. Pause. Because once patterns become visible, truth follows. Stop right here. And that's where you're heading. Pause. Toward understanding. Stop. Toward clarity. Pause. Toward knowing what's actually happening. Stop right here. And once you reach that point, you won't see things the same way again. If this connected with you, backhand index pointing right, like the video. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe for more. Backhand index pointing right, comment what you felt while listening. Backhand index pointing right, and share this with at least 5 people who need to hear this. Also, if you want to support this work, you'll see a QR code on your screen and a link in the description and pinned comment. We are working toward a $3,000 weekly goal for a meaningful initiative. Some may contribute $20, others $50, some $100, and those who can, even $500. Every support matters. Part 3: The truth behind the pattern. Stop. Don't scroll. Stay here. Because this is where everything starts connecting. Pause. In Part 2, you saw it. The pattern. The repeated behavior. The small changes that didn't feel right. Stop right here. But now, you're about to understand something deeper. It's not just change. Pause. It's the reason behind it. Stop. Because behavior doesn't shift without cause. Pause. Every change comes from somewhere. Stop right here. Think about it carefully. Not emotionally. Not quickly. Pause. What happens before those moments? Stop. Before the reaction. Before the silence. Pause. Before that feeling you can't explain. Stop right here. There's always something. Pause. A trigger. A shift. Stop. Something that starts the pattern. Pause. And now, you're starting to notice it. Stop right here. Not clearly yet. Pause. But enough to question it. Stop. Because now, you're not just observing the behavior. Pause. You're observing the context. Stop right here. What leads to it? Pause. What surrounds it? Stop. And that's where the truth begins to show. Pause. Because patterns always connect to something deeper. Stop right here. Not random. Not meaningless. Pause. But consistent. Stop. And consistency reveals intention. Pause. Not always obvious intention. Stop right here. But real. Pause. And now, you're getting closer to it. Stop. Closer to understanding why things feel different. Pause. Closer to seeing what changed. Stop right here. Because once you look beyond the surface, everything starts to make sense. Pause. The reactions. The distance. Stop. The moments that didn't feel right. Pause. They all connect. Stop right here. And that connection is what you're starting to see. Pause. Not fully yet. Stop. But enough to know something is there. Pause. Something deeper than just change. Stop right here. And that realization is important. Pause. Because it shifts your focus. Stop. From confusion to understanding. Pause. From guessing to observing. Stop right here. And that shift changes everything. Pause. Because now, you're not ignoring it anymore. Stop. You're paying attention. Pause. And attention reveals truth. Stop right here. Not instantly. Pause. But gradually. Stop. Layer by layer. Pause. Until everything becomes clear. Stop right here. And that clarity is close. Pause. Very close. Stop. Because now, you're asking the right questions. Pause. You're looking in the right direction. Stop right here. And once that happens, truth becomes impossible to miss. Pause. So stay here. Stop. Don't rush. Pause. Because what you're about to understand next changes everything. If this connected with you, backhand index pointing right, like the video. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe for more. Backhand index pointing right, comment what you felt while listening. Backhand index pointing right, and share this with at least 5 people who need to hear this. Also, if you want to support this work, You'll see a QR code on your screen and a link in the description and pinned comment. We are working toward a $3,000 weekly goal for a meaningful initiative. Some may contribute $20, others $50, some $100, and those who can, even $500. Every support matters. Part 4: The moment you see the truth. Stop. Don't scroll. Stay here. Because this is where everything becomes clear. Pause. In Part 3, you got closer. Closer to the reason. Closer to the pattern behind the behavior. Stop right here. But now, there's no distance left. Pause. No more guessing. Stop. No more maybe. Pause. Because the truth is right in front of you. Stop right here. Think about everything again. But this time, don't soften it. Pause. Don't explain it away. Stop. Just observe it as it is. Pause. Because now, you're ready to see it. Stop right here. The behavior wasn't random. Pause. The changes weren't small. Stop. They were signals. Pause. Signals that something shifted. Stop right here. Not necessarily something extreme. Pause. But something real. Stop. A change in mindset. A change in priorities. Pause. A change in how things are handled. Stop right here. And that's what you're seeing now. Pause. The difference between what was and what is. Stop. Because when something changes internally, it shows externally. Pause. In small ways first. Stop right here. Then in patterns. Pause. Then in consistency. Stop. And that's what you've been observing. Pause. Consistency. Stop right here. The same type of reactions. The same type of distance. Pause. The same type of moments that don't feel right. Stop. And now, you understand why. Pause. Because something shifted. Stop right here. And that shift changed everything. Pause. Not all at once. Stop. But gradually. Pause. Until it became visible. Stop right here. And now, you can't unsee it. Pause. Because once truth becomes clear, it stays. Stop. It doesn't disappear. Pause. It doesn't go back to being hidden. Stop right here. And that's where you are now. Pause. At the point of clarity. Stop. Not confusion. Pause. Not uncertainty. Stop right here. Clarity. Pause. And clarity changes how you feel. Stop. Because now, Things don't feel the same. Pause. What once felt normal now feels different. Stop right here. What once felt okay now feels questionable. Pause. And that shift is important. Stop. Because it means you're seeing clearly. Pause. Not through emotion. Stop right here. But through awareness. Pause. And awareness is powerful. Stop. Because it gives you control. Pause. Control over how you respond. Stop right here. Control over what you accept. Pause. Control over what you do next. Stop. And that's where everything changes. Pause. Because now, you're not reacting blindly. Stop right here. You're choosing consciously. Pause. And conscious choices create different outcomes. Stop. Outcomes that align with truth. Pause. Outcomes that don't repeat the same pattern. Stop right here. And that's the shift. Pause. The moment where everything turns. Stop. From confusion to clarity. Pause. From clarity to decision. Stop right here. And that decision is very close now. Pause. Because once truth is seen, action follows. Stop. Not immediately. Pause. But inevitably. Stop right here. And that's where you're heading. Pause. Toward that decision. Stop. Toward that next step. Pause. Because now, you know. Stop right here. And knowing changes everything. If this connected with you, backhand index pointing right, like the video. Backhand index pointing right, subscribe for more. Backhand index pointing right, comment what you felt while listening. Backhand index pointing right, and share this with at least 5 people who need to hear this. Also, if you want to support this work, you'll see a QR code on your screen and a link in the description and pinned comment. We are working toward a $3,000 weekly goal for a meaningful initiative. Some may contribute $20, others $50, some $100, and those who can, even $500. Every support matters.